the premise of this thing is like, what's something you don't know about? You're into neuroscience.
Okay.
He asked you something about philosophy.
Sorry, I guess the old noodle went into overdrive.
You mean the computer?
Yeah. Sorry.
What's something you don't know much about? Justin said one thing, and you talked for like 5 minutes.
I'm so ashamed of myself.
He said he was smart.
Welcome to Oops All Segments, the very best podcast hitting your eardrums at this very moment. I'm Kevin.
I'm Thomas, here in person. In Winnipeg. Everything's different. And with a special guest, my friend, Justin Fry. What's up, Justin?
How's it going?
Really good.
In advance, before we started, you were really kind of sounded like you were going to introduce him with some sort of bristly kind of, I'm going to make him feel weird with the introduction. You just called him a friend, which was nice.
He is a friend.
Okay.
I still feel weird.
Then we're doing our job.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, then. In that case.
Thank you very much.
Justin's like a long time coming. We've been trying to rope him in. We've had a long history with Justin, and he lives outside of Winnipeg. He's a very busy man, but we finally got him on the show.
We finally have him here. And I guess the first thing that we usually do on the show is just check in with people. So, Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, both of you.
You're a little tense.
Yeah,
I say that?
Yeah.
It's a little unnatural. So just try to be yourself. Okay, it's not a big deal, but just honestly,
loosen the fuck
let's
up.
do a shake. Honestly, can we shake it out?
Let's
Because
yeah. Okay.
Just let's actually do the eight.
You want to do the whole the 1, 2, 3?
Just one hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2,
1, 2,
1.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So Justin, we're here with Justin, my friend. Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, I'm not happy to be here.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'd
like to go home.
More sincere.
Yeah. We knew you were lying before, so
Great. So
But how are you?
tell us how you really feel.
No, I'm doing very well. As you guys know, we're doing All My Sons right now in Winnipeg. It's going well. It's super fun. We're almost halfway through the run, I think.
Yeah, tonight's our middle show, right? It's
yes.
3rd of 6,
Yeah, and they've gone really well so far. It's been a ton of fun. Lots of people have come to see that I know, and it's been great to see them. People from work and stuff like that. So it's just been really, really nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
So if you're listening and this sounds good, it's too late. The show is
fucking
over.
bad.
You missed it. But I actually have a bone to pick with you, Justin.
Okay, all right.
You made me cry. And I don't like friends who make me cry.
Well, it's catharsis, though, right? Because the show's supposed to be sad. So.
I went in expecting a nonstop thrill ride. And what I got was a little pity party. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, my whole world is crumbling. And somehow you snuck into my heart and you took root inside of it, baby.
It doesn't sound like a little pity party.
No,
it sounds like it really
broke me.
Impacted you, actually.
It brought me to the brink, and I haven't been able to claw my way back.
There's a darkness in your eyes that I've
Kevin, I have a bone to pick with you as well.
What are you talking about?
In Act 2, you also made me cry. Actually, seemingly each section of the show was heartbreaking for a different reason.
Are you okay, man?
I had a good time. The show is great. I didn't know I could feel things. Apparently, I still can. What a relief.
Went into the show numb.
It's truly a phenomenal show, but you guys broke me, and I am pissed about it.
I don't know whether to say sorry or you're welcome.
Both. Yeah. You're sorry.
I should say sorry.
You're welcome.
You should. And Thomas, how are you doing? You're here.
Yeah, I'm good. As I said, on the brink. A little bit raw. No, it's nice to be in Winnipeg. It's very hot today, which is cool. I'm in it here at a weird time because, 28th Minute is doing a show, and I'm not really involved at all.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to be here and so pleased with the result. It's been phenomenal, and it's great to see all my friends working together. So that's been awesome.
I will say this, that you were sort of involved in the show, though you didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might have been imparted to you already, but we spent the majority of our rehearsal period in an attic.
Your
in
bedroom.
George's attic. Thomas's
I
old
think I
bedroom.
know this story.
And there's a picture of
Yeah.
Thomas up in
And
the
so to
attic.
get Justin sufficiently angry at Darcy, they put the picture over his
Yeah,
face.
they wanted-
So in rehearsals,
Yeah, someone you really...
someone who
Justin's an
you
okay
don't
actor,
seem
but
to
he's-
hate him enough.
Yeah,
so
he-
do
I
we
love
have
him.
anything?
I was like,
too much.
I was like, you have to picture someone you hate, and Justin was like, I don't know how to do that because he's not, he's
Yeah.
okay, but he's not great.
You're
so,
a bit of a
Yeah.
you're a green actor.
yeah. So we took the picture. And we just
Right.
yeah. We
Fortunately, it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was great. And George had already broken it, so we didn't have
yeah,
to do much.
there was
Yeah.
a lot of spit on it, which I thought was
There
interesting.
was. Yeah, a couple
And I-
loogies.
Yeah. But
Well,
was
I
great.
appreciate that. I know that the real story is that the dead,
picture is Larry's
the missing brother is
Yes.
is me.
yes, the absent brother.
Who I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it seems like Joe Keller kind of preferred Larry to you in some ways, and maybe the mother as well. So, although I wasn't performing, definitely the favorite. Would you agree?
I would agree
Oh,
with that.
well, how nice of you. I do appreciate you
you
saying
wanted
that.
him to say it, and then he did, and
I
it suddenly
am-
wasn't enough.
No, it was. Thank you.
Were you wanting an argument? Do you want me?
I just want to see a little fucking fight in you,
Okay,
man.
all right.
See the show.
Yeah.
All he
It
does
wasn't
is
enough.
fight.
It wasn't enough emotion.
Yeah. It's a very fight heavy show.
But yeah, loving this trip. Kevin, how are you?
Me? I'm good. I am riding some serious highs right now. The show is really rewarding. I don't need to make the entire introduction of this podcast about how great the show run has been going, but it is really fulfilling. It does feel like a little bit of a culmination of like theater work and stuff like that we've been putting into for like around a decade and change. So I am very, very fulfilled right now. I'm feeling like I'm in a really good place. And but I had this really funny experience happening on our opening night that has, I don't think, ever happened to me on stage before. But I have this, my character has like one really full intense scene, and then I was on my exit. I just fucking flew into the curtains. Like I fell, just slipped, my shoes just like went from underneath me, and I like ate shit super hard. I have a terrible skin
Oh,
knee,
damn.
like you can see.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, like it's pretty bad still.
Oh my goodness, you
yeah.
got me from that.
Yeah, and I skinned my hand a bit too, but it was everything went so well
Yeah.
that it was fine, but it was like I've never had an experience that was that crazy where I've just been like so intense and then walking into the wings and just fully eating shit and it being like at least this happened at like the best possible time when I would
It as an audience member,
Yeah.
I was not sure. Obviously, it's weird to see someone fall.
Yes.
So I was a little like something maybe went wrong, but it was sold well enough that I was like, that's the kind of thing that my dad would just ask you to do.
Yeah.
Like on your way out trip. Like
Yeah,
a
he's
final degradation.
what if you eat total
Yeah,
shit
what if
and almost break your leg?
And what if you don't pratfall, you like hurt yourself every night?
Yeah, your dad wants to see more of this. That
Yeah.
being said, you have a vicious bruise on your chest too.
I do. I
Yeah.
actually have a couple. There's
from
a new
what?
one.
It's like Darcy and him have this like a lot of physicality, and he'll do this thing where he comes in.
You
on
don't.
like this.
You didn't do like a fight rehersal. You're just like hit me for
I
real.
got them to do fight rehearsals, but I think it just means they hit each other more.
We hit each other. We go pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a couple bruises too on his arm.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got a new bruise here. One here that I wear this like
a muscle shirt.
Yeah. In the show, but fortunately it like covers up the bruise. So that's
it's
I'm
great.
lucky that way. But
banged up, But
Yeah.
theater's hard work,
Yeah, this is why we're non-union, because we're hitting each other for real in the show.
We have a fight club after every show.
yeah, but
The
we don't
reason-
talk about it.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. We just beat the shit out of each other in the green room. Yeah. I guess we should maybe spin into our first segment. Right?
Yeah.
It's been our check.
Let's do it.
Let's spin the segment wheel in person.
Here we go. Woo! Oh no, I know what this one is.
You do?
Uh-oh.
It's 91 Hole off, roll off. We've changed it. It used to be call Heather, I think.
I think it did used to be called either.
Participants must roll the closest die to them. Highest roller wins. Lowest roller must insert their die into an orifice. Okay. Mario Party, guys. Here we go.
Suggested by, this is just ours.
This is ours, and it's also, no, it's Natasha Durant, actually, but spelt wrong. So I'm pretty sure.
Somebody who knows Natasha from our other show.
It
What
must
we do in the
be
basement.
Luke or something
Yeah.
like that.
Jeez. Okay, so we have to roll the dice.
You
Okay,
have
so I'll get-
dice
I'll
down
get- I'll
here,
get- I'll get
Kevin?
a
This is
D20.
our
I feel like the only
D&D
die you're gonna
podcast.
have is like gonna be massive.
Yeah.
A D4 would probably fit the most
I
nicely.
could do a D4 or I got all of them. I got the whole thing.
Is it cool? Yeah, you're cool with them going into our orifices,
No,
probably.
These ones aren't the ones I used for the show, so let's yeah.
Jeez.
Can I roll a D20 just so I have a better chance of winning?
Then we all gotta roll the D20.
No.
Yes.
I think we each choose your weapon kind of deal.
Okay, we're gonna roll a D20. I'm gonna
Okay.
roll first.
And then you'll announce what you got. So
Yeah.
Kevin's rolling. Here we go. Roll number 1.
2.
Oh no, I got a
Ooh.
2.
Jeez.
That is not good.
Should we just end it here?
Yeah, I don't think we need to roll. Yeah, statistically, there's no way we lose.
19.
Wow, pretty good,
Okay.
Justin.
All right.
Almost the highest it could be, so
Yeah.
you're lucky.
Yeah, and you were almost the lowest. And now it's my turn. Justin got a 19. Here comes Tommy Tolles. Clutch. 18.
Okay, so it's
So by a
going in
huge
orifice.
margin. Kevin, when you wrote this segment, or when Natasha submitted it,
When I read
which
this-
orifice did you imagine that you'd be using?
Nose probably.
That seems safe. I mean,
That's
the
what I thought
mouth
too.
is an orifice.
Yeah, I could put it in my mouth. I
But
don't know
I
if
think
this will fit in
nose
my
is
nose, will it?
funnier.
You guys
If
think
you
this will
could
fit in
get,
my
I
nose?
bet, yeah, I bet you
Is
could.
this dangerous?
Yeah. It's definitely not good. It's not well advised.
Yeah. Yeah, this will be fucking shitty if it goes bad. All right, well, I guess I'll fucking stick it. Wait, is there like a... I just have to have it in my nose?
Doesn't say for how long or I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe for the next segment we'll try to keep it in
Oh,
there.
I don't know if this is going to
That's
fit,
not
boys.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, that doesn't feel
God.
great.
Dude,
Oh.
I don't
Clone
think it's
High
gonna
is
work.
coming back and he's doing the Gandhi nose plug.
Oh my god, I don't think this is going to fit in my nose.
Even if you get it for 1 second, can it hold itself up?
Hold on.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think so.
Oh,
Well, it's
Kevin.
part-
Oh, it's so red.
Ow!
No,
You got
No.
it partly
Okay.
in.
Yeah, I don't
Officially,
think
it
it'll
was done.
hold.
I think that counts
Does it count?
because you were in genuine pain.
It didn't feel good. It didn't feel
Yeah.
good.
And every night in All My Sons, they shove
Yeah, I don't think I could.
green beans into their
Yeah, the
ears.
reason why Justin is so bruised is that he keeps shoving dye into his shoulder.
that was the shortest segment ever.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to have my other nostril.
I think-
Hold on, wait. No, I
Well, you're
can't.
going for it.
Do you think you could hold it in your
Oh, you had it. You had it for a sec.
Ow! I tried to.
Okay,
I
that was
inhaled
good.
it. I was like sucking on it.
maybe like eye socket? If you like flip it up, you could hold it.
Just hold it under my eyelid. Yeah. It stays in my ear actually. all right.
Okay,
Actually,
There
yeah,
we
it
go.
actually looks kind of
fresh. Yeah.
It's actually my new bling.
New club look is
Yeah.
what number is showing the most right now, Justin? What do you think I rolled with this?
Number 8.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got an 8 in my ear. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
let's-
into this. I can rock this for a segment. It's somehow AirPods won't fucking sit in my ear, but this thing will. So that's great.
That was a good warm up segment.
Yeah, that was a good warm up segment. Is it already time to go into a fucking?
I don't think so.
I think
Let's
we
do one more
more
because that was
One
like
more.
2 minutes long.
Yeah.
And we're in person. We can,
We can
stretch
rally.
it out a little
We can
bit.
rally a little.
Okay, so we're spinning the wheel. Woo! Number 47. Change my mind, really. Thomas will take a stance on an issue he hasn't thought too hard about. Change his mind.
Oh, interesting.
So we did this once with Kevin.
Yes, I think we switched it. What was
yeah.
it about before? I don't even remember.
Can you? So
What's the thing you haven't thought?
yeah,
about
can
very
you
much?
like pitch a topic or an issue that you don't think I'll have a strong opinion about, or that I'm maybe a bit ignorant of?
Sure. So like the Holocaust, I think you'll
Oh my god.
I have to go.
I'm kind of, I fall right down the middle on that one. Yeah, I'm just sort of like non-partisan when it comes to the old,
jury's out. Yeah, I'm not sure.
the Nuremberg jury. They're still debating that one. Yeah.
Yeah, what's something that maybe, I don't know. I guess it would be better if it was something that you or I was relatively convicted about.
Yeah, is there something that you feel strongly about, Justin, in
let's
your
say
own
you-
life that I can take a stand on? Because I feel like it's almost better if you already have some strong feelings, but I have to,
Yeah, what's something that you care about that you think Thomas doesn't know anything about?
I'm so smart, so he's got to really rack his brain.
It's gonna take me a
Thomas
while.
is the most worldly man.
Here's a real philosophical one.
Okay, this is
Okay.
great. This
Is
is
it
great.
great?
Yeah.
Okay. That free will does not exist.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're taking the stance that free will doesn't exist?
That's
Well,
correct.
Okay. So we could also try to change your mind. But my stance on this is although there is no evidence for free will, like scientifically, so to speak, two things. One, I believe that neuroscience is basically fake. That's like an opinion you could argue with me on. That like they've done a lot of it and we essentially know nothing about the brain. Like our understanding is very minimal. And we do studies and stuff and we're like, it seems like this stimulates this brain area, but there's a ton of guesswork and we often are wrong. That doesn't mean like it's not worth trying.
Okay.
But I think we know very little about the brain. So maybe there's something in there that we just can't detect. Two, even if free will doesn't exist, it's better to behave as though it did.
Correct.
Because
I would agree with
otherwise, and so for that reason, I mean, sure, but yeah, but maybe, I don't know, you could try to convince me that there's a point to neuroscience, because I just feel like we have all this like medical drugs for our brain and like studies about like, oh, like when people get sunlight, like it stimulates this area, but it just feels to me so like we've defined the brain as like a computer. We're using an analogy for. I've clearly thought about this too much.
I was gonna say, like,
Sorry.
the premise of this thing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what's something you don't know about? You're into neuroscience.
Okay.
He asked you something about philosophy.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I guess the old noodle went into overdrive.
You mean the computer? The computer.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's something you
Shit.
don't know much about? Justin said one thing, and you talked for like 5 minutes.
I'm so ashamed of myself.
He said he was smart.
You literally fulfilled
So
a fucking
embarrassed.
bit.
This is the most humiliated I've ever been on the podcast.
It's like,
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
here's something I haven't thought too hard about
Yeah.
that I believe. Okay, in Chicago, a lot of people smoke on the trains.
Like cigarettes?
People smoke cigarettes all the time right now.
like on a physically
yeah,
inside.
you get in the train.
enclosed
There's
train.
like smoke. It's horrible.
What the fuck?
And are
I
you
think-
allowed to or
No.
not? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
People
but
just do
people
it.
do.
Okay.
I think we should bring back a smoking car, a designated one, so that since people are doing it anyway,
Oh.
they all go there and they just smoke in that one.
I see.
Rather than just breaking the rules and smoking in all of them. There's at least like a space. It's sort of like a
Right.
safe injection site for cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Like go over there. We know people use trains as shelter and whatever. So like that's where the smoking happens.
Sure.
And that train car will be the most disgusting
most
place on
vile
earth.
place.
But I think maybe
You've
it's
seen
time to
Snowpiercer.
rather than like
Just
banning.
has tar over it. Like within a day, it's just completely covered.
So yeah,
60
we'll
years.
change my mind. I think maybe it's time to bring back the designated
smoking car.
smoking car.
Designated
Smoking areas in restaurants, do you?
Yeah, I think like
Well,
bring
maybe
it
not,
back.
like, I mean, but
it
if it was
needs to be
separated.
separate, but like in public, let's allow it. Let's like keep it separate,
Sure.
but like rather than it being banned everywhere because it just seems to.
I mean, a lot of people smoke. You could run for office on that platform, and you
Yeah.
might actually get some votes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if there are too many people in the
Like when
one
it's
car?
at capacity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And what if they're
that's-
like, well, we need more, and then
And then suddenly there's six train cars that are smoking and two
Exactly.
that aren't.
Yeah, that I'm really nervous about like
This is the new trolley
cultural
problem.
Yeah. The cultural effect that it'll have. Like,
Yeah.
I just imagine that that's going to bleed over
You
into
just really like
everything.
Mad Men, and I think you want more
Yeah.
people to be holding cigarettes.
Yeah.
I want to
Would-
meet Don Draper.
would you have an age limit too on who could go in
No.
to that one?
Yeah, like children with babies. I haven't thought about it that much. So yeah, babies can go in.
Wild though, right? Like
Bad position still.
Change my mind. Why would that be bad? Sounds fun. I love babies.
No, that is very interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. You could have. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think like
It's a little like in The Wire when they do Amsterdam,
Yeah.
and there's just a segment of the city where everyone's dealing drugs all the time. We don't arrest anyone, and it's just go for it.
The
Right,
problem with
right.
cigarettes and the problem with smoking is not like, I mean, I'm sure part of it is that it's happening in public places and secondhand smoke, like back in when they were instituting all of these new restrictions. Because I remember my parents were both smokers, and when I was growing up, I remember sitting in smoking sections versus not, and things like that and whatnot.
Robin's Donuts, I
Yeah,
remember, famously
exactly.
full of smoke all the time.
Yeah, and my mom's from England. I would go to England all the time, and the pubs in England, you can smell it in the carpets still, even though they don't smoke in there anymore. It's still they have this smell, and I think I get, but I think the problem with smoking is that you need to restrict access to cigarettes and manufacturing of cigarettes if you're going to do anything. I feel differently about cigarettes than I do about most narcotics and drugs and alcohol, because I think that cigarettes, and that's partly because I've never fucking smoked one.
Yeah.
But I just think that I think they're more detrimental, dangerous, and bad.
They are extremely bad for you, but so is alcohol.
Yes.
They're also super addictive.
What about a designated drinking car?
I love that. I think that would be great. The party train. Well, I've noticed a lot of people.
Sounds like you want a different line altogether. You want one other line in Chicago that's just for getting fucking stone drunk, high, fucking on the train.
I want one great night.
Yeah, you just are bored. I think you need to have a fucking social life. You need to go out, and you're hoping to try and get it on your way to work.
Well, okay. Think about this. I've lived in Chicago for 5 years.
Yes.
I've been riding the L train.
Yeah.
I would like to board the W train for once.
I'm done being on the L train. I'm looking for the W.
Let's get a dub, dude. The W train.
The W line.
No, I think, look, you've convinced me it would be, too much fun, I guess? Yeah, I guess I won't do it because
I've done my job then.
Justin's here as a wet towel for all smokers.
do you have a take, Justin? What do you think?
I have to say before I say my take,
Yeah.
it's very interesting because you were going on for a little while, very serious, but it's so hard to take you seriously with that dye in your ear.
I forgot about it. I can't see it on this side. I was nodding, very good point.
I am a goddamn intellectual, and I will not have my D20 in my ear.
Incredible. I forgot it was in there.
I rolled an 8 for intelligence.
Just the idea of doing a debate, a professional debate,
I'm at a
and
town
having that in
hall.
there.
Yeah.
We can't have smoking on trains.
Yeah. It was like when who was it? Was the Giuliani had that weird black stuff?
Oh yeah, it was oozing
dripping
down
out
his
of his face,
during
and it was
the Trump
what
end
is
of the Trump era.
happening?
Yeah, it's leaking. Yeah, I've got dye hanging out. But yes, your position.
It's tricky. It's could you have cars for? Someone could say could you have ones where you could drink on it?
Yeah.
Could you have ones where you could smoke weed? But
Fuck yeah, dude. Sorry.
Obligatory. Do I have to take a stance on changing your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then
Or maybe you agree with me.
I do, but
great.
I
win.
I'm gonna disagree.
Okay.
We sort of flip the segment now,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's instead you don't get
Just
to
let's all
dictate.
see how good my opinions are for a few minutes.
Yeah. But I wonder why they don't allow smoking anyway. What would be the official reason? If it's a fire hazard.
No, it's got to be secondhand
Yeah.
smoke, right?
It's,
That could
it's
be
a
one.
health risk, I
Yeah,
think, is
like,
the argument.
probably
Because
the main
someone
one, yeah.
drinking,
well, you get cancer, right?
yeah,
It's
you
it
can
spreads
give other
cancer.
people lung cancer over
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other dangerous things we do allow. You could argue
Yes.
it's arbitrary. There's wildfire smoke coming in to our lungs every day. So I
the
mean,
idea that we're totally
we
being
set
regulated against
some
safety
weird
entirely is-
limits.
Yeah.
and not others. I just think it's because it's already bad when it's not allowed. It probably would get worse if we enabled it.
It's crazy to me that it's I mean, I guess is there any who enforces the rules on a train in
Well,
Chicago?
it's just they sometimes will call the police to bring people off, which isn't good anyway, and
right, but
doesn't
there's no
work well.
security on the train.
Yeah, I think it's partly because it's understaffed post-COVID. So there's a driver who will lecture people please don't smoke, please stop blocking the doors, but there aren't enough staff to
do
go
anything
in
about
and be hey, could you please smoke on the platform? So it just it doesn't get dealt with, and it's gotten much worse in the last
Have
few years.
either of you ever smoked a cigarette?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did for a roll.
Oh.
That was the first
Was it a
time.
real cigarette or was it herbal?
Oh no, it was real. Yeah.
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 Which role?
Which role?
No, he means like he rolled it.
It,
Oh, okay,
No,
yeah.
I'm kidding.
it was Chris. It was Chris.
He doesn't smoke in the show.
yeah.
Justin's lighting up right now. Yeah.
You actually went to war,
Which
right?
role?
Yeah. No, it was a film role, and actually the character never smoked in the scene. But I thought
I
was
wanted a
like,
treat.
Yeah, I wanted a treat.
He did it because the role was so stressful.
Did you cough a lot? Like, what was it like?
Yes. Well, there was one time I smoked on a film set, and I actually smoked, and it was part of the scene, part of the character.
And they
But
didn't have
another time-
herbal. It was just like you
was
have to do a real one.
Yeah, it was a real one.
Low
That's
budget
weird.
film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
But then another one I
and
did.
Fight Club in that one too.
Yeah. Another one I did where I didn't smoke in the scene, but I referenced smoking, and so then I just like to kind of get into the headspace of the character. I went and I wanted to get a pack of smokes and just
Right.
get in the headspace, and I went to this gas station. I was like, okay, I'm gonna ask for a pack of cigarettes, but I've never done this before. I was like, I don't want to look like a loser, so I'm like,
I gotta be cool to this
Yeah.
gas station
Yeah.
attendant.
So I look and I'm like, okay, what can I get? Can I get like 20 packs, 25
Oh,
packs?
because you want to know before you go. You don't want to say
Yeah.
like, "What do you have for cigarettes?"
Yeah.
Because then the guy's gonna be like, "You don't fucking smoke, right?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I went in and I'm like, yeah, can I get a 20 pack? The guy's like, what kind? I was like,
Immediately came.
Come on,
one obstacle.
Be
you
nice.
Yeah.
Come on.
I
Just
just
give me the
turns around and
cigarettes.
fucking leaves. Fuck. This is
I was like, listen, I don't smoke. It's for a role. It's for a.
that probably
a
made
film.
you seem way worse than if you had
Yes.
even just
Yeah.
tried to stomach it through and lie to him.
I just leveled with the guy I was like, I just need like the most regular kind of smokes ever. He's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll give you Pall Mall.
Yeah.
Here you go. And then I tried it and it was painful. It's
Yeah.
painful to smoke it.
I'm
Did you
always
smoke the whole thing?
curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
A full
And did
pack
you-
of cigarettes. So
Did you,
were
wait,
you
smoke the whole
worried
pack
about?
of cigarettes or just a cigarette?
No, I smoked the whole cigarette, but it was
Oh,
like,
okay.
and the whole pack, but that was like over an extended period of time.
Oh,
and
sure.
it wasn't like, and the smokes were like very,
Were you worried
kinda
that you
cursory.
might get addicted? Like,
Well,
even though it was just
Yeah.
in part, I did start craving it a little bit, but I was like, okay, this is,
damn.
Yeah, and that's it. You've never smoked since then.
No.
Yeah.
Except for that other film where I actually smoked
Sure.
on set.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
That
was
seems
it.
like such a risk. Like,
Yeah.
I would be nervous.
I would be nervous too. I'm a big pussy about that kind of stuff. I get really
I just have so
scared.
many friends where it's like they smoked when they were teenagers and now they smoke and they have cravings forever. Like, it
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have like pretty good self control over things but like I just often feel like most of the time the thing I'm like, oh, there's not a reason not to do this thing, I guess. So it's fine, and
Right.
it probably isn't a big deal. But like, I get really afraid with like, it was beat into me by my parents that like cigarettes are bad for you,
Yeah,
and
me
that I
too.
should avoid them, even though they smoked them like crazy. Not like crazy, they just smoked them like
They
regular
are bad
people.
for you.
Yeah, I mean, they are. But I just feel like I'm terrified of the like it was. But I felt that way about weed until I started smoking it, and now I just like
But that is different.
it is different. It's chemically addictive. Like cigarettes are like chemically addictive. That's what
Yeah.
scares me. Yeah.
Well, they say quitting smoking is harder to quit than most other substances.
Yeah.
Like it's very hard.
That's interesting. You know, it's funny. The first time I smoked weed was for a role too, for tape actually. When we were doing that show, Justin
Really?
and I did a show, and it was 20. When was tape? Like 2013,
Yeah,
14, something like
13,
that.
14,
Yeah. So about 8.
That was the first time.
Yeah, because
Really?
on my character had to like roll joints and smoke them on stage, and we used herbal cigarette fillings for that in the show.
Yeah.
But our director was a big user of marijuana, and I thought it might be a good idea for me to figure out. I was older than I was and worried about getting addicted, so I thought it might be a good idea to try it, and I did, and I was like, oh, this is fun, and so, but I didn't become a larger user until much later in life, but that's for a role, yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
But I sort of impact. I still smoke weed, so yeah, you're doing better than I am. Yeah.
What about you, T?
Have I
Have you
ever?
ever smoked a cigarette?
I haven't ever smoked a cigarette. My
No.
parents were the same way. In fact, my mom paid me $100 to never smoke. By the time I was 18, she was like,
Bought a pack with that $100.
"Yeah." I was like, "Oh, yeah. What kinds you got?" No, but yeah, she was like, "Don't smoke, please. If you don't until you're 18, I'll pay you." And that really sunk in when I was a teenager. And then I don't know. I just always, yeah, it was the same thing. I was like, I like chew my fingernails. My dad has an oral fixation. I just am like, it would be bad. Like
Yeah.
I would crave it, and
Yeah.
so I just have avoided it.
Like, are you?
I don't really know whether or not this is true about because like you have like a sweet tooth like I do,
Yeah.
and you like candy and chocolate and stuff like that like I
Yeah.
do. Or do you have self-control with that kind of stuff?
I do to an extent, but I also notice myself like there are certain things where I like do them regularly, whether it's like checking my phone compulsively. I mean, everyone does that, but like I definitely do it a lot.
Sure.
Or like chewing my fingernails or like, yeah, craving indulgent food and stuff like that. So I've generally avoided.
But like, do you have the self-control to not engage?
To a degree.
Because it seems like,
yeah.
because like I know you
can.
like fast food, but you don't
Yeah.
eat it all the time.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
can. I think I could smoke a bit and not get addicted and stuff, but I just don't see the point.
Well, yeah,
really.
for sure,
I
for
just
sure.
don't
But I
really-
was just curious about more like,
Yeah.
yeah. I think
We just
now-
lost every listener because
Yeah.
they learned we're losers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, now an
I'm
ad break
afraid
from
of-
Marlboro.
I'm afraid of cigarettes. Let's take a little breather. Let's
Yeah.
check in with another podcast, and we'll be right back.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, Caitlin. We're the co-hosts of a little podcast called Gimme That D.
Did that get your attention?
It's a Disney Channel original movie breakdown podcast.
We are breaking down all of your favorite childhood movies that aired on the Disney Channel from 96 to 06, the golden age of cinema.
Duh. We are two F-list comedians with a lot of A-list comedian friends, and together we break down and celebrate these absolutely batshit crazy films.
So we're talking aloof parents,
Inexplicable plots.
bold cuts responsible for sexual awakenings the world over.
And we ask the hard-hitting journalistic questions like, what the fuck is this?
And could we have maybe taken a second pass at that script?
But we love them.
Oh, God, yes.
So listen to us wherever you get your podcasts.
To stay in the know of what movie we're covering each week and who our guest is, follow us on Instagram at GMTDPod.
Yeah, but for real, do it.
And we have returned. Justin,
Yes, sir.
do you have a segment for us?
Yes.
Does it have a name?
Um.
It doesn't have to have a name. Well,
Yes. Well, I'll make up a name.
yeah.
It's called Embarrassing Story with a Lie.
Embarrassing story with a lie. Okay,
Yeah.
this sounds a little bit like Two Truths and a Lie.
Yes, it's similar to that.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to tell.
I'm gonna take this dye out of my ear. So
Oh yeah, you're done
like-
now. You're done.
Oh,
Yeah.
now you're not funny.
Oh,
anymore.
another
I
two.
rolled a 7.
Oh, that's still bad.
Yeah.
Oh. No, you have to. This might be difficult because I know that.
You know all our stories.
Yes.
And we
yeah,
lie all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a horrible segment.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
go.
3 close friends who text each other a lot. But yeah, let's figure out what. What's
No,
telling the
it's
truth.
an embarrassing story, and it can be something that you've told
Okay.
in the past.
Okay.
And it can be a very, very embarrassing story, or it can be something minuscule. And within the story, you have to tell a lie.
Okay.
So some part of the story has to be fake,
Okay.
and we have to guess which part of that story it is.
This is
Or
a
which
cool,
part of-
this is
yeah.
a cool segment. I like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. Okay.
I can
Okay.
I can start if
Yeah,
you
why
want.
don't you start so we have some thinking time?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was 10, I was living in a small town. It's called Falcon Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was 10, so I was in grade 5 at the time. I was just like a pretty shy kid, didn't have a ton of friends. And then there was this big sports tournament that we had at school. It was called Frontier Games, where we would travel to these other communities in our school division. And
Like other rural communities.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And most of them were northern communities because Frontier School Division kind of like goes across like Manitoba. And so anyway, it was kind of like a real honor to be a part of this when you were old enough to go. So I was 10, and it was my first time going to this sports tournament, and I was going for snowshoeing. And we used to what we would do at school is like all the younger kids would line up on both sides of the hallway, and then all the kids who were going to Frontier Games would walk from the other side, and then the kids would all cheer, like go Falcon Beach Bears, you guys are gonna do great. And so I was 10, got into this car with I think 3 other students who were much older than me, and then this teacher. And so as we were driving, it was this 6-hour drive.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it was to Wanapagao, which is a small town, small northern community, and my grandmother works there as well, or she worked there before. And so as we were driving about 3 hours into the trip, I felt really sick because I had eaten this huge bag of Cheetos before I went on this.
This
on
does
this
sound
ride.
a lot like a Justin story. Like a lot of your stories involve long travel and discomfort. So, yeah, okay.
And so I was like, oh man, I'm really not feeling good. And then this one girl, she was like a popular kid. She was sitting in the front seat. She turned back and she made a joke, and everybody started laughing. And I did this face that was like, like that kind of looked like a smile.
They call that the Cheeto face.
It's like just for our non-video listeners, Justin like sort of squinted and like I don't even like he was like
He bared his teeth.
yeah, he grimaced, but with a like a trembling lip.
Yes, yeah. And then I just threw up
Oh,
all over
gosh.
myself. I had my jacket. It was this red jacket with white stripes. I just threw up all over it. It was disgusting.
Oh, no.
The girl in the front grabbed this like bucket and she whipped it back at me. We pulled over. I like cleaned.
You just being a bucket thrown at someone
Yeah.
who just spewed. No.
But then for the next 3 years in this school, my nickname was Cheetos.
Really?
Whoa,
I was
yeah.
gonna guess that was the lie, that it was like a different snack or something.
Okay,
but it
yeah,
was-
yeah.
Nickname Cheetos. I don't know. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I
think you were wearing a leather jacket, not a red and white stripe.
Yeah, 10-year-old in leather, man. Why am I not popular?
I am gonna guess the Cheetos. I'm probably wrong, but that is I think the snack was different.
You think the snack and the nickname were different?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that it was a popular guy instead of a popular girl that did it.
Okay.
Kevin knows
Very close.
women aren't funny. There's no way that could have. I'm just kidding, everyone. I love women, and Kim's episode was very funny. Kevin fucked up the audio. That was the problem.
Okay, so that I kind of accentuated here. So there were 2 lies.
Okay.
But there could have
fuck?
You
Get outta here.
Goddamn liar.
So it was actually not to a place called Wampanoag. It was to a place called Barons River, which is 6 hours away. Wampanoag is 3 hours away.
Yeah, idiot.
But this
That's weird. I always thought it was Berenstain River. Sort of a Mandela effect.
the second lie was actually the girl in the front seat was actually not like a super popular girl. She was like an enemy with a different popular girl. Like this.
Wait, what?
This
She
girl,
was a victim of being bullied.
She was like, no, she wasn't a bully. She just like really did not like this girl who was like
got it.
girl.
I see. So she wasn't like the one.
Yes,
Right,
correct.
I get
correct.
you.
But
Wasn't
that's
top dog.
that's correct.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the story.
That's
Those
a
are
good
kind
one.
of smaller,
Okay.
smaller.
Yeah.
lies,
Yeah, I
but
like that. I like this. Okay.
Okay. Do you have one, Kevin? I'm trying
I'm trying-
really hard to think
honestly-
of one you guys don't
Yeah,
know.
well,
like
I'm trying
I
to think
have.
of one that I haven't shared on the show. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about embarrassing things that have occurred to me.
I'm gonna check my phone because I sometimes write them down when they happen to
Okay.
me.
You could also do one that we do know, but then be
Just
more
change.
more detailed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just give
mean-
me a sec.
Yeah.
I think I was, yeah, okay. So when I was pretty young, I want to say, I genuinely don't remember what age I might have been, but it recalls to be like 6, 7, 8 years old. This feels like one of my earlier kind of memories. I don't have a lot of, I'm very bad at like recalling like specific stuff from my childhood. That's probably trauma, by the way. But
That's the lie.
yeah, the lie is that I
really-
am
feel
healthy, happy,
normal.
and
I'm
fine.
good.
Yeah, no,
really insensitive.
no, I just am bad with details. But I was a young kid. I distinctively remember. I believe I was at the Bay Shopping Center in Polo Park. It might have been Sears, but it was one of those like large, sort of many level retailers that are in the main shopping mall. At least when we were growing up in Winnipeg. I went in there with my mom. And I had like a few stories about doing things in the show. My mom, I just remember I used to hate shopping with my mom. It was just like my mom was just a regular person who liked shopping, and I, as a young person, just it wasn't interesting to me. There was nothing to do. I just had to follow her around and be annoyed. And so I remember that I at some point I was like bored and I walked into, you know how like when you're a kid you would go in between the clothes, like those circular racks of displays of clothes or whatever, where they would have all the shirts hanging, and it was like, I think it was like a bunch of dress shirts or something, but I just remember there being a lot of hangers, and I peed. I had to go to the bathroom and I peed myself in the, like, just, I didn't take it out or anything. I just pissed my pants. I guess I had to go, and I don't know. Maybe I didn't feel like telling my mom or something. I don't know. And I just peed, and I pissed myself, and then walked out and, like, told my mom.
Respect.
Dapping me up for pissing in the... Nice, dude. And
This isn't embarrassing at all.
I walked out.
Not yet.
And I don't think I even told my... No, I did. I told my mom, and then she was like, okay, well, let's go. And we just left. So I had just like peed in this rack and we didn't tell anybody. And then we just left that store. My mom like went to the checkout and we just left and went to do whatever the fuck else in Polo Park. And yeah, that's my embarrassing story.
Very cool. So now I think, did we guess the lie?
Yeah.
I didn't layer a lot of details in there, so
You didn't.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you shit your pants?
That's a fair like
It's a fair guess.
a fair guess. Yeah. What's your guess?
My guess is that they weren't dress shirts, that they were pants.
You're closer to the mark. I actually just did it in the middle of like a cross section of alleys. Like there was no hiding it. I just fucking pissed myself in the middle of like kind of like a quad sort of area. You know where like all four walkways intersect?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, right in the middle of the floor. And then I was like, I peed here, and I'm gonna go. So we left. Yeah. So, you know.
I wish the lie was that you were like actually 18.
I was 45. Yeah.
You were
Wait,
18.
I'm 32.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You've been lying about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm 89 actually. Yeah, no,
That's a good one,
That was my one.
That is
Did
good,
you find
man.
one?
I didn't, and I have so many like
You have
ones
tons
that I
of
tell a
embarrassing
lot,
stories.
so
Yeah.
I'm just nervous. But
Is
I'm
there
trying
something
to
that's like maybe happened to you in America that's like smaller that maybe you haven't shared with us specifically?
think. Yeah, I know. I had so much time, but I was also listening.
Or
to you guys.
even like, I'll say this, Thomas. Like, rest assured, you sometimes will go. Something will happen to you in America, and it will like impact you deeply, and you'll write a long message to us in a group chat that Justin, myself, a couple of other friends are in.
And then
We don't give a fuck. So we don't like, look at that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
or
that
read
seems
it. Yeah, like,
right.
So that doesn't matter.
it's left on red
Yeah.
for days.
Yeah. I haven't changed since I sent you that K text message after your dog was ate rat poison.
God, yeah, there's so many that are good, but so I'll just tell this one. Maybe you know it, but I had this friend who would like drive me to school a lot.
Okay.
And he was like a serious guy. Like he ran for school president. He like wore suits to school. He was like a interesting
Public
vibe.
school and he's wearing suits.
Yeah.
This is high school.
He was the president in high school. And he would joke around with me. And so one of the things that happened was that he would like pull the car away as I was like trying to get in. And so like I'd be walking up and he'd start to go and I'd like run after and grab it and jump into the car.
Way.
Yeah.
You
But
said
like,
he was a serious guy. This
well-
sounds like
serious about being a dick. So yeah, he would always do that. And then there was one day he was also, I think we did improv together. So there was a day after
Getting less
improv.
serious.
Yeah.
by
Oh,
the moment.
all right. Settle down. I'll tell the fucking story. There was one day after improv where we had a show. And so we were leaving this like school that like I didn't know very well. We were like farther away.
Okay.
And so it was a big parking lot. And as I left the school, there was like a car, which I assumed was his. And I saw it sitting there. And so I walked up to it and it started to move away. And I grabbed the handle and I jumped in. And there was just a family of people that I didn't recognize in the car, just like terrified because someone has mid-drive grabbed the door and jumped into the back seat. Who is an improviser? So I look crazy. I'm probably wearing like a logo shirt, and I just
Can I get a
always
suggestive right to get the fuck out of here?
I always remember the look on their faces, and I just was so shamefaced. So I like was like I screwed up. And I got back out, and they didn't say anything. They just looked terrified.
Right.
That's my story.
Right. What do you got? Where's the lie?
I'm gonna to say that he wasn't class president.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing that didn't seem to line up, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, and you said that the family was Caucasian.
I did. I really didn't specify. It would have been weird to have.
Yeah. You said that they were.
Yeah, they were.
They looked
yeah,
well-to-do,
they were Puerto Rican.
privileged.
They were Puerto Rican.
And you made the film.
They were. It's okay, but they were Puerto Rican.
They were Puerto Rican. No, I think that the guy was not the class president either, and I don't think he wore suits to school every day.
Those are both true.
Oh.
The lie was that we were not. We were at a different school, and so it was confusing and overwhelming. We were at my school,
you were at your
so it was
school.
my home parking lot.
So the
yeah.
sort of disorientation is not
Yeah,
really fair.
no, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew those people.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Puerto
But like,
Ricans?
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
That's a great segment.
good segment,
Good job,
Justin.
I
you
like
guys.
this. This
Yeah,
is tough.
that was
This
fun.
is fun. It's
was
like
fun.
a little challenge of adding in a detail.
Yeah.
That's a
We're
good
all
one.
pretty good at lying. it
Yeah.
turns
Yeah.
out.
We're all
Like
bendy, little bendy
Walter
on the truth.
White's over here.
Yeah. I was. I'm impressed. Should we
Yeah.
spin one more
Nice.
time?
Let's do one more quick segment to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Lovely.
Yeah, this
Here we
episode's
go.
Rocking, and we're close to like around 40 minutes. I'm guessing.
Oh,
now, so
really?
yeah, so
Great.
it's
I
probably
thought it was a
one or
little
two more
longer than
segments.
that.
No.
Let's do one more.
Yeah.
Woo! Tick
Where are
tick
we
tick.
going?
Lazy boys. The hosts take a breather. If there is a guest, they must fill this time somehow. If there is no guest, so be it.
Well, Justin.
How much time do I have?
Let's go.
Till we end the show, I guess.
Till we end
Put
the
my
show.
feet
This
up.
It's all
All
you,
right.
brother.
Let me just get comfortable
Yeah,
here.
we'll just take a breather here.
All right.
Oh God.
Okay.
Laying down on
So,
you.
maybe I will recount my lovely memories of meeting you both. So, I remember first time I.
Genuinely such a nice thing for me to do.
All right.
Take a quick cat nap. You finish the story.
I remember it was a
talking about us.
warm, sunny day in Winnipeg, and I remember going to do some black hole theater auditions. And I went to audition for this one play. It was called Running with Wizards.
We didn't direct that.
weren't involved with that at all.
Who a very good friend of ours named Luke was directing. And
Friend of the show.
I wanted to be in that play. And I auditioned for it. And I could tell after doing my audition that Luke was not impressed.
I don't think I've ever heard this.
He was not impressed.
Luke is such a nice guy.
And he was very nice. He was very nice. And I remember his comment was that as fun to do as it was to watch.
That sounds like a what do you mean he didn't like
I think he did like it.
Yeah.
And then
That's not an insult, Justin.
it was a very nice thing for him to say, but I could just tell.
He's trying. He can tempt us by downgrading his own skill.
Yeah, he's right.
I was like, I don't think he actually likes it very much. But of course, Luke is a very nice guy. And then I was leaving the audition and I went walking down the hallway and the exits.
Loudly fucking snoring.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm not. This is the segment.
You're right.
So the exit was past another room where you guys were doing auditions for your play, which was the Bald Soprano. And I remember seeing the poster for that, which was just a woman with hair that was like falling down. You couldn't see her face. It was just hair down her face. And I remember thinking distinctively, I'm not auditioning for that nonsense.
I need something realistic. Running with wizards.
And so I would not have gone to that audition room had it not been in between Running with Wizards and the exit door.
My two favorite places.
And I thought to myself, whatever. I'll just go in and get some experience. So I went in and just like did a bunch of stupid stuff.
And I remember Kevin was like, "Oh man, that was really weird. Well, thanks for coming in." And then Thomas was like, maybe we'll give you another side. And so then, and I remember your dad was in there too.
Oh, right.
Thomas, yeah. And
Yep.
so then I went out and got another side. And then you guys gave me some notes and some directions. And then you guys ended up casting me, and now look at where we ended up.
Thomas, you're gonna puke on me, man.
Cheetos.
It was all for this, boys.
So, wow, I'm gonna check back in. That was a nice breather.
Yeah, I feel great.
So is our taste bad or is Luke's taste bad? Because
Someone
clearly
is wrong. Yeah.
you were not good enough for running with wizards, which, no offense to the people involved, but was a maybe minor piece of writing, you might say, compared to Eugene Ionesco's The Bald Soprano.
Correct.
Which you demolished. You
Yeah.
were great in that show, and
that-
now you're
that-
doing
I-
All My
I will
Sons.
remember that audition. Like I do remember that audition. I don't remember lots
Yeah,
of
you were
things.
very funny.
You were hilarious, and I remember.
You did a whole face.
Yeah, you had this like face thing.
You were like
it was
slack jawed.
Yeah, there was
I
like a
remember
slack
that.
jaw thing, but I remember it was evoking Nicolas Cage for me.
And I got some
Because
Jim Carrey too, which
Yeah,
is
like, but
Justin's
that was-
icon kind
what
of.
we-
Yes,
what
correct.
Thomas and I had sort of initially bonded over as friends was like silly cinema things and things like Nick Cage and stuff, and like I just remember your like, yeah, I remember you sitting there with miming a newspaper and having this like slack jaw look on your
remember that.
face, and it just killing me the whole time.
That's so crazy though, because yeah, like our whole friendship is because of that show,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
maybe you would have acted anyway, but like I feel like you've done so much, and now you're in a show where your acting skill is like through the roof. So
Yeah.
like, just it's like thinking
And
that
your-
Luke
and your
was
dad
like,
is the director who was
no,
sitting in that
thank you.
room. Yeah, and Luke was like, yeah, we don't need this. for
I
running
don't
with
think we can
wizards.
have Luke back on, honestly, if he's gonna make calls like that.
Yeah, maybe we'll have Luke and Justin on together. And
Let's hash this out. I want to know if
Wait,
Luke
did
was
you have the
sincere.
sides
Have you ever
still?
asked
Let's get
him?
him to do the sides again and see if Justin's audition is good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because we could see maybe you just weren't right for that part.
I actually, looking back at the audition, I feel like it wasn't the greatest audition, but Luke was
I mean,
really
clearly.
But we haven't spoken about that.
I would love to hear his take.
I'm very curious.
I
to
bet he
hear Luke's
doesn't remember,
I wanna
honestly,
call
but
him.
Yeah.
that was a point of contention because my girlfriend at the time, or just before she became my girlfriend, auditioned for Bald Soprano and didn't get in.
Oh fuck
Yeah, and it wasn't like anything, but it just was like this weird thing where it's like we don't really know each other yet. Then we started dating, but forever we have that thing of like I auditioned for you and you didn't cast me.
Right.
So it's like
I
a
don't think
funny
I knew
thing.
that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I now that you've said that, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, because I was 1 year.
Yeah, I
ahead
mean,
of you.
everyone auditioned for the shows of the Black Hole, so it's
Yeah.
like if you're an actor there, you just would. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, that was a nice little story,
Yeah.
Justin. That was a nice little story. And what a way to kind of bring us
Yeah.
home. Is there anything, Thomas, that you have to play? This is going to come out on Monday. Is there something that's going on in Chicago that you might want to?
you know, actually, in a little bit, it's not coming up right away, but I do want to plug this because I think it's important.
Yeah.
On July 9th, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be opening for my friend Chris Turner, who's a guest of the podcast, at
Incredible.
Zanies
Yeah,
in
wonderful.
Chicago.
Zanies in Chicago.
Very cool comedy club. It's like out of my pay grade, but I'm excited, and it'll just be a short opening set. But if you want to come out to that, that would be awesome.
July 9th at Zanies in Chicago.
Yeah.
To catch Thomas opening up for Chris Turner, who is an incredible comedian. So even if Thomas bombs, you've got something to look forward
There's
to.
more after for sure.
And yeah, All My Sons will be wrapped by the time this comes out. Keep your ears peeled and eyes peeled to Club Soda Improv. We'll be
Oh,
doing,
yeah, Fringe.
Thomas will be back in town and we'll be doing Fringe Festival together. Justin, do you have anything that you want to throw people towards? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I just keep checking out great theater in Winnipeg and Chicago. A lot of good stuff.
Cool.
So keep going.
Good. Okay. Well, thank
Great.
you so much, Justin. If you're listening to this on your podcast apps, rate us 5 stars. That's always helpful. If you're watching on YouTube, say hello down below. Subscribe. Give us a sub so we can dom you. I wish I had said that. And,
Me too.
Yeah, it's bad. But and then also, tell your friends. The show's fun. We have a good time. Thank you, Justin, for spinning the wheel with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. This was
Thank
great.
you.
It was a blast.
Great to see you guys.
Please don't smoke on trains. If you can help it, it's horrible.
Cheetos! We're out. Bye.